I wasn't going to record this yet, but I feel like I need to, so I can just get it off my chest and get it over with. If you last beyond the first 60 seconds of this video, I will know that you're a true supporter. To everyone else, I'll see you on the flip side, on the meme side, whatever. I'm recording this video as a way for me to give myself closure to a situation that has had an extreme impact on my life. And I've come to terms with the fact that I'll never be able to receive the closure I was looking for, so I'm going to give it to myself. I'm not bitter. Hell, I'm not even that angry anymore, if I'm being honest. I'm just hurt. Hurt because our children deserve and deserved so much better than they got. If I'd have known that this was going to be the outcome of our relationship, I'd have left him in the hood in Miami to continue getting robbed and potentially killed for his life choices. The same choices that he's making now. If you are unwilling to support me in my healing journey, cool. Please find your way to the unfollow button, unfriend button, whatever button you want to click, because you have no idea what I've been through, nor could you understand the mental and emotional abuse that I suffered as a result of it, and I will block anybody who gets disrespectful without a second thought. The fact that it's been less than a year and I've managed to heal myself as much as I have is an accomplishment for me, whether anybody else thinks it is or not. I've seen women post non-stop attacks at their exes just for spite, none of which I do, none of which I have done. Anything I've said has been based on 100% pure facts. And honestly, I wish him well, because if he's well, he might actually remember that we have 3 kids together that need their father. Something he seems to have forgotten. I went on a downward spiral for months and nobody was here for me. Nobody tried to pull me back up again but a select few people. One person in particular not only helped me stop drowning, but they've given me an entirely new outlook on life. The saying, just a phone call away, means a whole lot more to me now. And I fully comprehend how the healing powers of just one person can mend mountains. People will always try and find a way to ridicule you regardless of what you do. And I'm done defending myself against anyone who can't seem to understand that I'm entitled to tell my story as many times as I need to, whether they like it or not. If you don't like it, don't watch. Simple. This video is going to be a bit long, but it's to get my message out so that I know that I said everything I needed to say and I could walk away from this situation with a clear conscience. It's also to ensure that the trolls who stalk my page solely for the purpose of relaying information back to my ex will have content to provide, because they'll make sure that he sees it, so I don't have to. I'm entitling this video A Letter to My Past and a Promise to My Future because it's clearing everything off my chest. These are things that I would like to say, but I won't get the opportunity to say in person. So here goes. I'm posting this video and it will be the last time that I reach out or speak to you directly because I just don't have anything else left to say. First and foremost, I just want to let you know that karma is going to come for you. Flat out. You and your karmic are both pathetic and disgusting people who deserve each other. And I really hope you let her see this. She should be ashamed of herself for the amount of pure evil she puts out into this world, not celebrate it for it like you and your family seem to do. I can understand you deciding for whatever reason that you no longer wish to be with me. Sometimes people grow apart, or they decide that they're not happy with the person that they're with, or their feelings change, or you're just so weak that you're manipulated into seeing something that isn't there. I get it, but these kids did nothing wrong to you. Neither did I, for that matter, but you'll see that eventually. You texted our 8-year-old daughter back in February and told her how evil I am, and how I'm such a bad, bad person, and how I don't want you around her or her brothers. This after she asked you why you didn't love me anymore, and if you were ever going to come home. Knowing that what you were telling her was a pure lie, since I've actually spent months praying for you to get well, just so that you could be there for your kids. The only reason I got the injunction in the first place is because you were actually content with throwing me out into the street with no place to go so that you and your karmic could live happily ever after in the house that we bought together. That was never going to happen. Never. One day, you'll open up your eyes and realize just how good of a woman you really had by your side. And I hope that you mentally suffer for the amount of damage that you purposefully inflicted on me. Hell, us, for that matter. I dedicated 10 years of my life to you. I loved you unconditionally. I would have done anything for you. I never cheated on you, not once. I don't care what your whore says. Even after you cheated on me the first time, I still remained faithful. I was willing to forgive you and even tried harder to show you just how much I wanted you around. Now, I wish I'd have just walked away back then. But lo and behold, the same karmic you left me for is the same woman that I thought was a friend and the same woman that convinced me to stay. I never would have done anything to try and bring you down. I always only wanted to ever lift you up. But you and your karmic tried your best to destroy me and our children for your own personal entertainment. And that's the only conclusion that I can draw. It was entertaining to you. You allowed this woman to move into the home we literally just bought for our children to grow up in and turn it into a living nightmare. You allowed her to pretend to be my friend. You allowed her to give me advice on how to fix our marriage, even though you never had any intentions of doing so, all because you believed whatever lies she told you about me. She'd already had your mind gone by the time she made it here, so that was expected. But you convinced yourself that I didn't love you enough and that you haven't been happy for years because she put that in your head, not because it's the truth. And you didn't just drop the ball with her. You allowed your niece, who I loved and treated like family, to disrespect me to my face, all because she knew you were a lying, cheating bastard, and you didn't want her to out you both. I wonder if she knows just how much trash your karmic was talking about her behind her back as she smiled in her face. You know, just like she did me. You know, you were right there when it was going down. Although your niece probably wouldn't care either way, because she's just as much of a liar as your karmic is. We wiped out our savings account, literally almost 20 grand, fighting to get custody of her and the boys, only for your sister to inform me that all of the alleged abuse charges were completely fabricated by said niece, when she deliberately got her little brother beat with an electrical cord and a flashlight by her grandmother for the sole purpose of recording a video to send to the authorities, all because she didn't want to live with her grandma no more. We fought for 2 years to get custody of them kids, just so she could spit in my face the first chance she got, even after I made myself look like an idiot defending her when she got arrested for beating a girl up, all because she wanted to make a name for herself at the high school. You've robbed me and your children countless times, in many ways, yet continue to try to access my accounts even months after the fact. And I'm trying to figure out why you're still trying to access my accounts when you clearly had enough money to get a new house and haven't sent a single penny of support for your children. You and your karmic did a ludicrous amount of damage to the home that we bought, including destroying the salon that you actually helped me to build. Hope that made you guys feel good. I'm sure it made her feel good. You spent the past 9 months acting like your children don't exist, but have the nerve to post on Facebook about how much you miss them for pity. Why don't you try picking up a phone and reaching out to the children that you claim you love and miss so much? You probably can't. Your karmic probably won't let you. But you don't even have to communicate with me to contact your kids. And any woman who can sit there and force a man to deny his own children isn't a woman. I always made sure you kept in contact with the girls. Always. Those are your babies, and they needed their daddy too. And that's what a real woman does. I held on to the hope that you might at least have the decency to contact your twins for their 9th birthday, but I'm sure that's not going to happen either. I guess we'll see. Got 2 days left. Even though I know that you did manage to call Kalia for her birthday, all Mari got was a text from your sister saying, "Happy birthday from Daddy," and a promise to receive some gifts that he never got. This after he broke down crying because he actually thought you'd show up and surprise him for his birthday, but never did. Nice touch. I can see which kids matter most to you now. And although my love for the girls will never change, I love them to death. I hope you're proud of the distance that you put between all of your children just because you wanted to be controlled by greed and manipulated down a very dark path. These kids have cried, screamed, yelled, and begged for their daddy to come home. And even though I want to tell them the truth about why you left, I don't have to. They already know it's because of the nasty body sore lady, as Mari calls her. The evil witch who actually tried to kill me with dark magic on more than one occasion. And even though she tries to deny it, but based on everything that I do know, you helped her. Does that make you feel like a big man to try and destroy your wife and the mother of your children on the very land that we bought together to raise our kids? Does that make you feel good? Where would these kids be without me? Certainly not living with your two-faced mother and sister. Yeah, I said it. Both of them knowing that you're sleeping with that trash, as I cried and literally begged them to help me to get you to understand that what you were doing was not only traumatizing to me, but to your kids as well. Your mother hasn't even bothered to check on her own grandkids since you left. Guess she's just as content with your newfound lifestyle as you are, since I'm pretty sure she helped you achieve it, willingly replacing me and your kids in her life like we never existed, turning our back on her own blood, all for your new Karmic and her children to feel as comfortable and secure in their positions as possible. Your sister didn't know I was in the car one day, but she called your witch to ask her what rituals she could do on her own fiancé because she felt like there were issues in their relationship and she wanted him to snap out of it. Your witch sat there and told her exactly what to do, right in front of me. It's a shame that all of these women have to use magic on their men instead of just letting things play out. You actually believe that I put some sort of magic on you to make you love me for 10 years because your karmic told you I did. Never taking into consideration the fact that the real evil bitch is the one that you lay down with every night. She had your head so clouded from all the drugs and the spell work she did to you, your common sense was and probably still is non-existent. Your woman is jealous of me. Always has been. She was so jealous of our relationship and how much you loved me that she felt the need to attack what we had, and you let her with open arms. She literally told me how you sat there bragging about how good we were doing and how proud of you she was for turning your life around and becoming the man you'd become, how great I was for you, how we were planning towards our future, and how she'd never seen you love anyone the way you loved me, never adored anyone the way you adored me, never spoke about anyone the way that you spoke about me. She wanted what I had so badly, she took dark measures to try and acquire it. But either way, she'll never have with you what we had together, because what we had was real. It wasn't forced. It wasn't surrounded by an addiction. I didn't have to manipulate you. I didn't have to fill your head with lies. I didn't have to tell you you loved me. You just did. You'd actually become such a great man, a great father, and all around someone to look up to. But that man is officially gone. You were too weak to hold on to him. When you finally wake up from your zombie-like state and realize the immense amount of damage you've done to your life and to your family, I hope it eats you alive until you can't take it no more. Your karma's coming. Hers too. There's a special place in hell for the both of you, and although I hope her karma is worse because I'd actually like to see you live long enough to see your children grow up and hate you for the way you left them, I do hope that you enjoy every minute of yours as well. You could have just left like a normal person, or at least had enough respect to tell me that you weren't happy so that I could take the necessary measures to walk away myself. Instead, you chose to try and destroy the one person who was always there for you. But guess what? I'm still standing, and I will continue to grow, and I will continue to accomplish every goal that we were supposed to accomplish together by myself, because I was meant for greatness. I will elevate so high I won't even be able to hear you when you start begging for forgiveness. Once you realize all the betrayal you brought upon yourself by listening to the same people that you should have walked away from a long time ago. Did you know that your karmic cleaned out my bank account while you were in jail? Did you know that she emailed me to tell me how stupid I was for not trying to save the marriage that she'd already destroyed because she has her own man and is happily living her own life? Did you know that while you were locked up, she was out selling herself to other men for drugs? You probably do, and you probably like that shit. To each their own, I guess. Did you know that while you were here, treating me like shit, threatening to beat my ass and telling me how much she wanted me dead to the point that I'd physically remove myself from the situation, she would be the one begging me to come back? Telling me how much she missed me and how you were just so depressed and would come to your senses eventually because you loved me so much? Did you know that when I went to my sister's house, she's the one that convinced me to leave early because she, again, missed me so much, and how you were so upset by the fact that I wasn't home and you just couldn't tell me because you were just too upset? She told me you tried to kill yourself over it, and that's why your hand was all cut up and bandaged. I didn't know it was because you'd went into my salon for a second time and destroyed even more of my stuff until later. Probably because of some bullshit she put in your head, no doubt. Did you know that she actually tried to convince me, Dianelli, Yaya, and Kayla that we needed to tie you to a tree and leave you outside until the demons possessing you left your body? The other option was to attack you and drown you in a bathtub of holy water, because if you died, the demon possessing you would leave your body willingly. Then all we would have to do is resuscitate you, and you'd come back as the Craig that we all used to know and love. I told her she was crazy, and that I would not drown you in a tub, nor would I leave you outside tied to a tree, because there are wild animals here that could kill you. I even laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Did you know that each and every time we were alone together, she'd tell me to keep the faith because you'd come around eventually? Did she tell you that she told me constantly that she couldn't stand you following her around like a lost puppy, that she just wanted to be left alone, and how you would refuse to do so and force your way into the shed? Did she tell you how her and Damien would sit and tell me how they thought you were psychotic and weird because you were always slinking off alone somewhere, and how you'd come up with these crazy off-the-wall stories? Probably from all the drugs. Did she tell you that every time we went out together, she'd walk away on purpose so I could talk to you and try to get you to see me? Did she tell you that the night you choked the shit out of me, she's the one who told me to approach you? She said, don't take no for an answer. He's not Iron Man. He will come around eventually if you do it the right way. I guess I failed. Did she tell you that the same weekend she went out of town and you choked me, how she came back bragging about how she spent the whole time that she was gone screwing her ex? What was his name? Johan. Did you know the night I had to get drunk enough to work up the nerve to seduce her, I already knew she was down to fuck? In case you hadn't figured it out yet, your woman is obsessed with me and everything about me. Plot twist. When we stopped at the gas station and you went inside and left us alone in the car, she grabbed me and kissed me. After that, I already knew she'd go, so I took the green light. You actually thought I tried to force myself on her. That's funny. Did you know that when you told me to get a girlfriend and I vented to her about how fucked up it was that you'd actually come at me like that, she's the one who told me to tell you she was my girl? You sat there and acted like I was so nasty to go for your cousin, but you was already fucking her. Go figure. Guess you just didn't want me to ruin your big plans. Did you know that when I made the candlelight bath with the roses the night before you both had me thrown in jail, it was her who put the idea in my head? She said that I should do something big to get your attention. Do something so heartfelt that you couldn't turn me down. Do something that would show you just how much I still loved you because it could bring you back around. I was so scared of you turning me down. I was literally shaking when I asked you to come and see what I'd done for you. Well, you didn't disappoint. You did exactly what she wanted you to do. She even offered to take the kids over to the shed so that we'd have quiet. I know now that she only did that because she wanted to see you turn me down. She wanted to see me cry. She wanted to see the hurt in my eyes as I once again stupidly listened to her and did the next dumb thing to try and win back the man I thought was the love of my life, knowing that you were already brainwashed to hate me by her. She couldn't just accept the fact that she'd taken my husband from me like a normal side bitch. She had to rub it in my face too. She enjoyed watching you do me so wrong, then would always make sure she was the first one there to try and comfort me. It's quite sickening to say the least, and I'm embarrassed to admit how much I allowed her to play with my head, knowing deep down it was all a lie, all because I still held on to the hope that my husband would come back to me. Talk about a case of denial. Do you know that she would sit in my face as I consoled the kids and promised them that their mommy and daddy would be back together again? That they shouldn't be upset and they shouldn't cry because their daddy's just dealing with something right now, and how she was going to help him come back around. It takes a real cold-hearted bitch to stand there and lie like that to a child, knowing that their father was already a lost cause. But that's the woman you love, right? Did you know that for weeks after you left, Kaya had nightmares that you were going to come and try to forcefully take her from me and force her to go with you? She'd wake up out of her sleep crying and sweating. To this day, if I leave the house, she's right behind me. If I disappear from her sight for just a little bit too long, she's running around trying to find me. Did you know that Mari started having night terrors again, even though he hadn't had one in almost 2 years? Did you know that Mari and CJ have become so angry it's almost impossible to get through to them at times? Did you know that CJ walks around asking me why I can't just get a new husband so he can have a new daddy? Someone who actually loves him and won't leave him? Did you know that your deceit and lies caused severe abandonment issues in all 3 of our kids? But I'm the one to blame for that, right? Did you know that your Karmic's own brother reached out to me, someone I never met before, just to let me know just how fucked up he thinks both of you are for doing me how you did me, and how you should both be ashamed of yourselves? Did you know that there's so much more that you probably don't know? And even if you did, would you care? I have all the receipts I need to back up everything I've said, so there's no need to accuse me of making anything up. I despise liars, and I'm not like you or her. I will stand in my truth no matter what anyone thinks about me, no matter how much you try to silence me. You and your Karmic can get mad that I continue to speak my truth all you want. You're just upset because you know I'm not lying, and somewhere deep down you're ashamed of yourself for how you ended things with me. There's a lot of bullshit lies that she told you to win you over, but I'm sure she never mentioned that the reason I fought so hard to hold on to you is because she somehow managed to convince me daily that you were just going crazy because you were being attacked by a demon and I needed to save you. That you were giving me mixed signals because you'd have times of clarity, and that's when I needed to get through to you. I understand now that this was part of y'all's plan. You wanted to make me look crazy, to make me feel like I was going crazy, so that when I would get upset and confused by your behavior and finally lash out, you could somehow point the finger at me, and it would be my fault when there was conflict in the house. And all the time, all she kept doing was telling me how you were just trying to teach me a lesson for somehow not showing you enough love and affection, but that you'd eventually apologize, and I would see just how overdramatic I'd been by stepping outside of my character. Truth be told, I became scared of you. I couldn't even go near you without physically shaking uncontrollably because my body was so stressed from all the mental and emotional abuse that I suffered at both of your hands. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm not perfect, I know it, but I never thought you'd be one of them. I hope you're happy with your new life. I hope you enjoy every minute of the lustful satisfaction that you're chasing. Because once karma starts kicking both of your asses, I'm going to sit back and watch with a smile on my face, cuddled up with my new man. I am a loving, beautiful, smart, talented, gifted woman, and I want to thank you for forcing me into such a fragile state of mind that I was able to discover all of that on my own. Thank you for allowing me to see that I can survive on my own, even though you tried to make it impossible. Thank you for showing me just how little I meant to you after all these years, and for treating me so badly, because now I know my worth. And thank you for my children, the ones you seem to have forgotten all about unless you're making a post on social media trying to seek unwarranted pity. I hope your new life was well worth what you've lost, because you will never get it back. I hope that once all the lies and bullshit she inflicted starts coming to the surface, because everything that's done in the dark will come to light, you sit back and reminisce about how good you had it with your real soulmate, because although our relationship wasn't perfect, it was built on genuine love. I didn't have to use sorcery and manipulation to force a man to love me. I'm not pathetic like her. You loved me on your own, whether you want to believe it or not, always had. We always had each other's backs. We always pushed each other forward. And we would have achieved greatness together if you'd have stuck around just a little bit longer. But now, I know this was meant to happen. You aren't meant to reach the level I'm headed to until you get what you have coming to you, a lesson that will only be learned through your connection with her. The universe always has a plan, baby. But I can tell you this, she don't love you. She wants you for what she thinks she can get out of you, and that's all. You don't even really love her. You're just settling for the time being because you have some serious inner work that needs to be done that only you can do. Maybe if I had a disabled son that I could live off of and use him for his money that he probably doesn't even know he has, I'd have been more appealing to fight for. You claimed you needed some time away to go on your spiritual journey, but what you actually did was send me on mine. So again, thank you, because without you, I never would have unlocked the true gifts that I've always held deep inside, just waiting to break the surface. You'll figure all this out in divine timing, but for now, I'm filing for divorce. I will request sole custody of the children because I will not allow a junkie near my kids, and they will sure as hell never be around that whore again. Not to mention, if you actually still gave a damn about these kids, I wouldn't have to wipe away their tears every time they have an emotional breakdown about why their daddy left their mommy to be with a slut. That alone is enough karma for you. But there's so much more coming, and you earned every last bit of it. But just so you know, I forgive you. I forgive you with everything that I have inside of me, because you will never hold that much power over my life again. I reclaim all my energy. I return all the negative energy and spell work back to the hands that sent it. And normally, I don't body shame other women, but you really took a step down when you left me for her. I guess a pancake, titty-having, manly-looking spotted leopard missing half an ass cheek like someone popped it with a needle is your definition of an upgrade. I'm glad. Because clearly I was out of your league the entire 10 years. Have a blessed life.